next door to the plutonium. The drawing, the restored drawing picture can give you an idea about. At the moment, the statue, which is right over here, is right over there. So we are at the top of the complex of plutonium, and the whole Greek world, especially, and then the tradition carried down to the Roman world. When someone passes away, after a proper funeral, with the two coins placed right above the eyes, the soul of the person was supposed to go to Hades, to the underground world, where depending how much he pleased the gods and the goddesses, he will be there. And to Charon or to Charon, who is the road border of hell on the Styx River, he'll be giving one coin. So he will go down to Hades, and then when his punishment is over, when his time in the underground world Hades is over, he will give the other coin, and then his soul will come back to this earth, and where the body is laid in a sarcophagus, in a chamber tomb, or in a tumulus tomb, the soul will meet with the body. So it was a very important thing in the ancient world to have a proper burial. They were having a very strong belief in the unification of the soul with the body again. And even in some house chamber style tombs, once a year, people, the family members, will be coming and having a feast right next door to the tomb of the person who is deceased. Just like you had seen in the tomb of Saint Philip, there could be, and some of them, there could be a shelf so that the body can be laid there, and after it decays, the bones can be moved to the side. So it will not be a single usage tomb, it will be multiple usage family tomb over there. And it was a very important thing in the Roman world and the Roman paganism, what is so called as the domestic cults. Each family was having a domestic cult, that everything the owner of the father of the family, who is also the head priest of the domestic cult of the family, has as the power, as the wealth, is what he has inherited from the ancestors. So the ancestral background was a very important thing, and the ancestral background, which is depicted in the domestic religions on the family basis, were the events, were the cults that people were honored. Even the wedding ceremonies were arranged accordingly. The reason why we lift the bride up while we are entering the house is actually a very, very old paganistic tradition. When you were getting married, first of all, the bride has to be expelled from her family's domestic cult. And so there is a ceremony held in the bride's house to expel her out of the cult. So in that period, she will be like a lost soul if something bad happens. This is the reason why the groom comes to pick her up and to have the journey all the way to the new domestic cult spot, which is his father's house, for the groom's house. So he will accompany her, but because she is not a member of the domestic of her new domestic cult yet, the groom will lift her up and keep her holding her without her feet touching the ground. Let the father perform the ceremony, which is the acceptance ceremony of the bride into the new domestic cult. And once she is accepted, then she is ready to touch the ground. So, I mean, the reason why we lift the brides up is a very old traditional paganist, let's say, event that we even carry on today in Turkey or in US or in Germany or somewhere else without knowing the background of it maybe, but that's the whole story behind it. So the domestic, and this is the reason why in the Greek world, but especially in the Roman world, the women they had no inheritance rights, because whatever will be inherited to them will be going to the power of the other family. So it wasn't a wise thing to voluntarily give what your ancestors had put together to the power of another family. This is also the reason why the women were out of the were kept out of the wills of the families. So over here, uh, as you can see in that picture, there are some animals depicted as being dragged into an opening over here. Actually, the water that fills the so-called Cleopatra's pool today is having the spring right underneath this area. And because it's a thermal spring, it contains gases, poisonous gases. And that tunnel built over here was used as a pit that those poisonous gas were accumulated. So if you dare to walk into that part because of the lack of oxygen, you will suffocate. If you forcefully drag an animal into that part, that poor animal will die. But it is regarded to be the life-giving or life-taking power of the cult of Pluto over here. Today, it's nothing more than the poisonous gas escaping through the cracks and getting accumulated over there. But anyone who is fatally ill in the ancient world was preferring to come over here. And how you can define being fatally ill, Mark has already explained it to us while we were in Pergamon. You will go to Asclepion and you'll be examined before God of health, Asclepios, will be accepting you or not. If you're not accepted, it means even gods cannot help you with your problem. So get ready to die. And if you can make it, coming to Hades, one of the entrance of the underground world, will be a very good opportunity for you to be as close as possible, so the time that you will spend will be less. And this is the reason why, not in proportion to the population of the city, Hierapolis has one of the largest necropolises of the ancient world on the Aegean lands. So it was like, even in the animals, the elephants, when they're gonna die, they just silently move to an area. It's exactly the same mentality with the human beings in the paganist world. This is one of the entrances to the underground world, so let me be close to that part and let my resting place be close to it, so that my soul will immediately meet with my body.